Well, this morning, violence is erupting in the streets of Mexico after the takedown of one of the world's most wanted men. It's time for the Streamline, everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. Mexican military forces killed one of the country's most powerful drug lords, known as El Mencho, Sunday. Now, Jalisco New Generation Cartel members are unleashing violence across 20 Mexican states. The violence forcing the Puerto Vallarta airport to suspend all flights, stranding many U.S. citizens trying to get home.
We have not been able to find a flight back, even if we hear that the airport is secure and there's military people around the airport keeping it safe. Getting there and the hour drive to the airport is the concerning part. We don't know what we may find along the way.
Now, at the time of the raid, U.S. citizens in the area were told to shelter in place until further notice. Many are now worried about retaliation after a Pentagon official confirmed a new U.S. task force provided information for the raid. Mexican authorities say order is gradually being restored.
I can't do very much from here. I felt kind of helpless.
A San Diego man's wife was stuck for hours after cartels established blockades in Puerto Vallarta. ABC 10 News reporter Ava Kirshner spoke with her husband as he explains how she was able to escape.
There were extremely dangerous conditions in Puerto Vallarta, but fortunately, the San Diego business owner I spoke with said his wife there was able to safely escape the cartel blockades. The streets were taken over, buses were set on fire, and one of her colleagues was even held at gunpoint.
They were saying there was explosions all across the city and the whole bay. Looking across the horizon, there was smoke everywhere and fires everywhere.
A major military operation in Mexico bringing backlash on the streets. The powerful leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, known as El Mencho, was killed by the Mexican army.
It's been a real problem for the government. It's been a real problem for the people of Mexico, because these organizations are very powerful.
Cars and buses burning in the streets as roadblocks. A San Diego business owner who did not want to go on camera in fear of retaliation told me his wife was a vendor at a Puerto Vallarta farmers market when the chaos started. The other vendors that tried to leave faced the consequences.
Like I was talking about earlier, here's the guy that got assaulted on the way out, and they ended up taking his car and kicking him out and lighting it on fire at one of the gas stations to kind of assist with the blockade.
Eventually, the vendors formed a caravan and escaped.
She said she looked over and saw one of the other vendors, one of her friends that sells at the market. She saw his truck just in ashes with all of his personal belongings, his entire business in the back of that truck, and it just tore her apart.
Jan Ronis, a criminal defense attorney who represented El Mencho's son in court, said the fight for the top will begin.
There's going to be certainly jockeying to replace him. There's going to be a power vacuum, a power struggle. The government's got no control over what's taking place.
Justin said he is filled with relief that his wife is home, but he knows this violence is far from over. Reporting in studio, I'm Eva Kirshner, ABC 10 News.
The person behind one of the deadliest school shootings in San Diego history is due in court today. Andy Williams was 15 at the time. He shot and killed 2 students and injured more than a dozen in the 2001 shooting at Santana High School. Williams is scheduled for an update on his case this morning ahead of his resentencing hearing. He was originally sentenced to 50 years to life in prison, but a judge ruled last month that Williams is now eligible for possible release. That's because of a California law that allows for resentencing for those who committed a crime as a teenager. This morning, an investigation is underway at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. The U.S. Secret Service and local police shot and killed a man armed with a gun Sunday after he drove into the secure perimeter of the estate. The FBI, identified him as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin from North Carolina. Authorities said Martin brought a canister of gasoline and a shotgun with him.
He was ordered to drop those 2 pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the 2 Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat.
He died at the scene. President Trump and First Lady Melania were at the White House when the shooting happened. Martin had been reported missing by his family on Saturday. The FBI and Secret Service are now trying to figure out what Martin was planning and why.
President Trump plans to raise the global tariff rate to 15%. He announced that plan over the weekend after imposing a 10% tariff on Friday. Now, the back-to-back announcements came after the Supreme Court ruled the sweeping emergency tariffs Trump imposed last year are illegal. But the High Court's ruling only applies to the duties Trump imposed using one specific law. The president now says he'll rely on other legal authorities to keep tariffs in place. Under this new tactic, the tariffs must be approved by Congress within the next 150 days to remain in effect. Now, if you've donated to a good cause lately, you may have found more requests cluttering up your mailbox. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese looks for ways to stop unwanted mail.
Imagine this, you open up your mailbox every day only to find it filled with charity requests. You hate saying no, but you're getting more and more of them. Is there any way to stop it?
Audrey Shelton is not surprised to open her mailbox and find requests for help.
I open this, and it's usually stuff.
She has stacks of them.
One day.
This is one day?
One day.
Shelton believes these letters come from good, legitimate charities, but for her, it's overwhelming.
It just blew up all of a sudden. I got solicitations from all over the country, you know, some even international solicitations.
She suspects her name and address were sold after donating to a few.
I know my mailman hates me because if I don't get my mail every 2 days, then he can't put any more in.
Bennett Weiner with the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance says you can end up on a mailing list based on something you bought or a newsletter you subscribe to.
People wrongfully assume that those lists just come from other charities.
To reduce incoming mail, Weiner suggests you focus your giving.
Select the ones you want to give to and give larger amounts to them rather than small amounts to numerous organizations.
He says eliminate unwanted requests by visiting dmachoice.org, a mail preference service run by the Association of National Advertisers, or write directly to the charity. Weiner says enclose the mailing label or return card and add the correct postage. Just don't write return to sender.
Nonprofit mail rates only go in one direction, to your home. Unless you put additional postage on that envelope, it's not going to go back to the charity.
Shelton hopes by signing up at dmachoice.org,
This is like from December into January.
she can slow the tidal wave of mailings.
It just piles up.
That way you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
A winter storm is hitting the northeast right now, stretching from Maryland all the way up to Maine. 7 states have declared a state of emergency. See the snow there? It's falling at a whopping 3 inches per hour on Long Island right now. More than 40 million people are under a blizzard warning, including New Jersey. Jersey hasn't seen a statewide warning of this magnitude in 3 decades. Tens of thousands of customers in the state were without power overnight. At airports, thousands of flights are delayed this morning and hundreds are canceled. Pretty tough travel day. That's your ABC 10 News Streamline. Everything you need to know today in under 10 minutes.